ओमज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So we are discussing from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2nd and verse number 27. We discussed last 2 days. Jata Shrihi Dhruvo Mrityu Dhruvam Janma Mritasya Cha Tasmada Parihararthinatvam Sochitum Arhasi. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament. So understanding the fact that we have this material body and the body has taken birth, so one day it is going to die, that is sure. But we are not going to die. We will remain as it is and we will accept another body. So why should we lament and bother so much about the maintenance of the material body at the cost of sacrificing our duties in Krishna consciousness? Our duties uh, with respect to uh, the Supreme Lord in terms of our spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, because that will help us to get a better body. And if our duty is spiritual duty is completed in this life itself, then we can have next a spiritual body which will no longer undergo the cycle of birth and death. It will remain eternally with us. Everyone is anxious to maintain the material body. Everyone is very anxious, trying very hard how to remain fit, healthy, and make the body comfortable, make our life very settle life. Why this desire is there? Because that is our eternal swarupa, eternal form. We are eternal beings. So everyone wants this, but nobody knows this. A very few people who know, who have thoroughly studied Bhagavad Gita. So by acting in Krishna consciousness, by dedicating this one life for the service of the Supreme Lord Krishna, we can have that opportunity that as soon as this present body is finished, we can get a spiritual body, but which will never deteriorate like this material body. It will remain ever fresh, youth, young, and eternally as it is. No changes at all. No question of any disease, no question of any old age, and no this tiredness, deterioration, and of course no death. So all these changes, bodily changes happen with this material body. Material body doesn't matter how much you take care, at the end it is going to die. And during this life also, this material body undergoes so many changes. It deteriorates, so many diseases. It is tired, and uh, how much we take care, it cannot help us to remain as it is, to support us to execute our whatever work we want to do. And of course, ultimately, there is no happiness which we can expect from this material body. The material body is meant for giving miseries, dukkha. Dukkha yone evate, Krishna said. It's only miserable. That's why its material body is miserable. So that is why an intelligent person, they should work in such a manner so that by utilizing this gift, human body, although rare and very, it's not permanent. It is temporary, rare, and its duration of life is also very less. But still, it supports us. It can give us permanent residence, permanent situation, eternal. It can help us by this material body. If we utilize it properly in the service of the Supreme Lord, then we can get permanent residence, eternal residence in Vaikuntha planets with a spiritual body. That's why intelligent person are those who utilize this body for the service of the Supreme Lord. So this is what Lord Krishna explained in verse number 27. Now next verse, today's verse is अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So what need is there for lamentation? Avyakt bhutani. Adini means in the beginning, before the creation, before the material world's creation, or before the creation of this particular life. Uh, so all beings were in unmanifested form. Unmanifested form means it's not that no form, but unmanifested form means materially it is not manifested, but there is form. All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning stage. But in the when we accept this body, for just for the time being, we get this manifestation of material body. And then again, as soon as this material body is finished, again the living entity goes into unmanifest form. But there is form. So that's why there is no cause for lamentation, because the living being, living entity has not destroyed. This is the same thing. Krishna is again and again explaining in so many different ways, explaining the same thing, that there is no need for lamenting for the loss of or changes of the body, because any amount of changes and loss of this material body is not going to change the eternal self. Eternal self remains as it is. That is what Krishna is emphasizing on these verses again and again. Same thing he is repeating, just to make us understand this very simple point that this with the changes or with the destruction of material body, we do not change, we do not destroy, we do not get destroyed. That's why one should not be so much anxious over the destruction, over the thought of the destruction of material body, or the changes of material body, uh, or the loss of material body, or for that matter, any kind of material achievements, material success, material wealth, material name, fame, material situation, all these things. One should not be too much anxious, too much involved in acquiring, in maintaining, and protecting, taking care of all these material things, material life, material situations, material name, fame, material body. Rather, one should utilize this best human form of life, God gifted human form of life, which is very temporary, only for just few years. Just for the few years we have got this material body, 60, 70, 80 years, that's all. So intelligent person should utilize this for the purpose of crossing over the material existence, uh, to reach to the ultimate destination of becoming free from all kinds of material circumstances, birth, death, old age, and disease. To become free from material entanglement. That is the main business of a human form of life. One who has got in this human form of body, his main business is that he should prepare very nicely to get the situation where she can become free from all lamentation, all anxiety. No more birth, no more death, no more disease, no more old age. No more these three kinds of miseries. Adhyatmic kalesh, adhibhautik kalesh, adhidaivic kalesh. No more anxiety to maintain the body, no more anxiety to earn money, no more anxiety to get uh, respect, get loved, or to love somebody materially. That's not possible. Nobody is able to satisfy us. Nobody can satisfy us. Our desires, our hankering for to get loved and to love someone. That hankering is of the soul. But unfortunately, due to misconception, the Hatha Buddhi, one who thinks himself to this material body, she he gets into this illusion that materially I can become happy or satisfied by loving somebody or by getting loved by somebody. But that is not possible. A spiritual destination can help us on the spiritual platform in the association of the Supreme Lord. That is possible. So those who are really intelligent, they look forward for that spiritual life, spiritual realm, spiritual existence. They are more anxious to develop that spiritual uh, reality. So that's why Krishna is explaining in these verses that all created beings, beings means a living entity, soul. In the beginning, before accepting this material body or material existence, created beings were there, but they were unmanifested. Unmanifested means they were not in this material existence, but their form was there. Their form was there, and only during the creation they get manifested to get this material body, and then after annihilation again they will go back to their original position situation. That's why there is no need for lamentation. So our duty is to become free from this interim state, manifested state, uh, and to again go back to our unmanifested or spiritual state of life, original consciousness. So, accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of the soul and the other not believing in the existence of the soul, there is no cause for lamentation in either case. So, this verse is applicable for both the classes of philosophers. One who accepts the existence of soul, for them also, the soul remains as it is in the beginning, during the manifested state, material manifested state, and at the end, when the body is annihilated. In all the three stages, the soul remains as it is. There is no cause of any lamentation. And for the philosophers who think that there is no soul, so still, even accepting this material body to be all in all, then also there is no cause of lamentation because this material body, before getting this manifested form, it was in unmanifested state. Uh, it was in this body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So all these material elements were there before the creation of this body. But as soon as the creation happened, some of the material elements they came together and combined and to have this form like this body. And after annihilation, again, all those material elements will go and merge into their elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, and again become unmanifest. So, where is the question of lamentation? Because in all the three stages, even if somebody accepts that we are not the soul, we are body, so still the bodily elements are not going to destroy. The bodily elements are going to remain as it is because it's just a matter of getting transformation. The material elements they got transformed to make a form, material form, and then after annihilation, the material elements again they dismantle and they again go and merge into their elements. So it's just as the science in science it is said the transformation of energy. Energy is never lost. Energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. That is the even the science also they accept this. Energy cannot be created, cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to another form. Similarly, even if somebody doesn't accept the existence of soul, so this material body is also it's energy. So it's an energy. So in before this material body, it was in some another form, and then after some time it got manifested to have a material body, and after annihilation it will get transformed into another form. So where is the loss, where is the question of lamentation? That's why There's no question of lamentation. So one should simply, as long as one has this manifested form, material body, so one should execute one's duty in order to keep the peace and harmony in the society. One can do this without lamentation. So Krishna is encouraging in that way also. That means in any way one should go on executing its his duties, spiritual duties, material duties, whatever duties are there. One should go on. So non-believers in the existence of the soul are called atheists by followers of Vedic wisdom. Those who do not believe in the existence of soul, however, they are known as atheists. Yet even if, for argument's sake, we accept this atheistic theory, there is still no cause for lamentation. Apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before creation. So even if, for argument's sake, if we accept this atheistic theory that there is no lamentation, still there is no cause for lamentation. Because the material elements remain unmanifested before the creation, that means material elements were always there and it remains always there. There is no cause of lamentation. From this subtle state of non-manifestation comes manifestation, just as from ether, air is generated, from air, fire is generated, from fire, water is generated, and from water, earth becomes manifested. From earth, many varieties of manifestations take place. Take, for example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atoms in the ultimate stage. The law of conservation of energy remains, but in course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference. Then what cause is there for lamentation either in the stage of manifestation or in unmanifestation? The same thing which we explained, that law of conservation of energy. Even if somebody doesn't accept the existence of soul, still there is no cause of lamentation. One should not lament. One should not be too much anxious for the protection or for the maintenance or for the loss or destruction of these material bodies, even if one doesn't accept the existence of soul, because this remains as it is. Law of conservation of energy conserves the energy, material energy. But the very fact that we feel anxiety, we feel lamentation, and we become disturbed because of the loss of the material body, is this proof that we are a spirit soul, because we are not exactly lamenting or becoming anxious for material elements, material body, but because the spirit soul is present within the body and the spirit soul is eternal. So, but because the spirit soul has misidentified himself with this material form of body, material form of life, so at the thought of getting destroyed, this lamentation comes. So this proves that one who laments over the change of material body or for the destruction of material body or death of the material body, that itself proves that he is not this body, he is a spirit soul. Because that is the nature of spirit soul, to remain as it is without any change. Material things get changed, uh, but the spirit soul never gets changed. So we become disturbed, we feel disturbed because of the change of material body. It proves that we are not this material body, we are spirit soul, because the spirit soul remains at it as it is. It does not get changed. Somehow or other, even in the unmanifested stage, things are not lost. Both at the beginning and at the end, all elements remain unmanifested, and only in the middle are they manifested. And this does not make any real material difference. So, materially speaking, so it does not make any real difference. The material elements in unmanifested stage or in manifested stage. What is dull material element? It is going to get destroyed. So there is no. So it does not make any real difference. And if we accept the Vedic conclusion, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, that these material bodies are perishable in due course of time, antamant ime deha, but that the soul is eternal, nitya shokta saririna. then we must remember always that the body is like a dress. Therefore, why lament the change of a dress? So, even if one doesn't accept the existence of soul, or if one accepts the existence of soul, in both the cases there is no cause of lamentation. Because if we accept the Vedic conclusion, like in Bhagavad Gita, we already discussed this verse, Antavanti me deha nitya shokta saririna. The body is, in due course of time, the body is going to get destroyed, it's perishable. But the soul is eternal, nitya shokta, nityash uktaha saririna. Sariri means the soul. So then we must understand that the body is like a dress. So we are simply changing a dress. So why one should lament over the change of a dress? The material body has no factual existence in relation to the eternal soul. It is something like a dream. It is a dreaming condition of life. One assumes or thinks or illusioned, one is illusioned that I am this material body. I am having this material existence and all those conceptions of life. So it it is like in a dream, we may think of flying in the sky or sitting on a chariot as a king. But when we wake up, we can see that we are neither in the sky nor seated on the chariot. The Vedic wisdom encourages self realization on the basis of the non existence of the material body. Therefore, in either case, whether one believes in the existence of the soul or one does not believe in the existence of soul, there is no cause for lamentation for the loss of. In both the cases, one should not lament. That means one should go on with the execution of his duties. So in this way, Krishna is explaining very wonderfully uh, this concept, very important fundamental concept of the spirit soul. Next few verses, 2, 3 verses are remaining. 2 verses, I think. It's conclusive verse. Conclusive. The next verse 29 we'll discuss tomorrow. This verse is known as Ashcharyavat verse because in this verse Krishna has used Ashcharyavat 3 times. Ashcharyavat paschit kashchidenam. Ashcharyavat vadati tadaiva chanya. Ashcharyavat chainamanyas shrunote. Shrutvapi enam vedana chaiva kaschit. So Krishna is explaining in this Ashcharyavat verse that people interact with these spiritual things very wonderfully. Ashcharya. And Krishna himself becomes very Ashcharya, born. That we'll discuss tomorrow. So then 30th verse is the last verse of this Science of Soul. Then from 31st number verse, new section, new chapter will begin. While in this chapter number 2, there are 4 sections. So second section will begin from chapter number, verse number 31. Okay. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any question you can ask? Yes, Ankita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu,
Hare Krishna.
as you told, like this body is temporary. We are discussing that only from some time. So, just want to know whatever Vedic applications we apply, like bhakti we are doing. So, this mind is also material, or this mind can be spiritual too. Means this will carry forward to our next life, and how this bhakti attached to our soul means ये भक्ति कैसे हमारे सोल से कनेक्ट होता है जैसे सब कुछ मटेरियल है तो ये पूछना था प्रभु कैरी फॉरवर्ड कैसे होता है भक्ति हरे कृष्ण
So whatever devotional service you perform, uh, that that is the function of the soul. That is counted in terms of spiritual activities of the soul, and that actually transforms our consciousness and which changes our mentality. Mind, mind is transformed into a spiritual consciousness. So as one goes on performing devotional service, Krishna conscious activities, so similarly his mind, the subtle body, becomes Krishna conscious or spiritualized. So at the end, means end of complete perfectional stage, the subtle body does not remain material. It is transformed completely in spiritual. At that particular time, it is said that the soul, spirit soul, has given up his material body. material conditioning. And it's just then matter of leaving this gross body, then that subtle spiritual body takes the soul to the spiritual realm. So mind intelligence is spiritualized completely. It becomes spiritual by performing Krishna conscious activity.
Means Prabhu, we are doing this bhakti from many birth. Can we, matlab, it is also possible, or we can cross
Yes,
this
it takes.
Maya in a birth also. Both things can be possible, Prabhu.
Yes, if
Hare Krishna.
100% in this verse only, in this life only, if our consciousness is fully purified, it has become fully Krishna conscious, then this one birth only one can become completely detached from material entanglement.
प्रभु फंसे होने का कारण यही है ना, हम लोग छोड़ देते हैं, फिर पकड़ते हैं, फिर छोड़ देते हैं, व्यक्ति कुछ माया में पड़ के, यही कारण है
यस,
प्रभु, हम लोग अभी तक
यस, यही
स्टक।
कारण
अरे
कंप्लीट नहीं कर पाते हैं, कंप्लीट नहीं कर पाते हैं इसमें। तो धीरे धीरे इसलिए it takes many many lifetimes for ordinary person to complete the course of a spiritual journey. But if somebody becomes very determined that I will finish the business in this one life, he can finish it. There's no such rule that one has
प्रभु
to
एक
wait
प्रश्न,
for many years, many lifetime.
प्रभु
Yes,
एक प्रश्न और था, प्रभुपाद जी जैसे हैं, उन्होंने पूरे लाइफ भगवान का ही चिंतन स्मरण किया, प्रचार किया, तो वो मतलब अभी स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में होंगे, मतलब बोला जाता है वो आज भी सपोर्ट करते हैं अपने भक्तों को, तो वो मतलब वो बैकुंठ में है, यही मानना चाहिए, और वहां से हम लोग को सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं इस तरह से। हरे कृष्ण।
so spiritual personalities, those who are fully Krishna conscious, they always remain in Vaikuntha. They never come down to this material existence. Even if for the sake of serving Krishna, for preaching mission, they come to this material world, that is just their external appearance. But their consciousness, because mind, intelligence fully purified, so they always remain in a spiritual world. So it doesn't make any difference whether they are in physically they are in spiritual world or physically they are in material world. For them, it is both the same thing. But of course, spiritual personalities have the power. They can help the conditioned soul even from a spiritual realm. Because the spiritual person, as Krishna is present in the form of his instructions, in the form of his holy name. Similarly, great spiritual personalities who have attained the perfectional stage, they are also one with the Supreme Lord. So they can also be equally present in the form of their instructions, in the form of their remembrance, and in the form of their name, holy name. So that is the uniqueness, oneness with the Supreme Lord. Okay. Hare Krishna. It's
थैंक यू सो
quite
मच प्रभु, हरे
hard to
कृष्णा।
accept that this material body is an illusion. It seems very real. Yes, it seems very real because we are fully absorbed in material consciousness. That's why. But as soon as by following the process of proper sadhana bhakti, we become free from this illusion state, this dehatma buddhi misconception, then we can realize this, that this material body and all the designations with regards to material body are just illusory. The only designation that I am an eternal servant of Krishna is reality. So, in this conclusion, one can come by the practice proper execution of devotional service to Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.